Catholics put Mary on the same level as God? Short answer is obviously no. One of the biggest misunderstandings about Catholicism is that we worship Mary, which is obviously not true. The Church teaches that only God is to be worshipped. True worship must always be professed, and the Church only professes worship to God alone. So if we did worship Mary, we wouldn't be doing a very good job. One of the most important things to realise is that honour in Catholic theology has got different categories, and the English language loves to collapse ideas together that theology separates, and this is because we use Latin words which have a different meaning. This is the key part. In Catholic theology, we have three different types of honour. They are latria, 𝗖𝗁, and hyperdulia. To be able to understand some Catholic theology, you need to be able to know the definitions of these three different types of honour so that it starts to make more sense. Latria is the highest form of honour. It is absolute worship and adoration. It involves total surrender and sacrifice, and it is reserved for God alone. This includes obviously the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Only God receives latria. The next form of honour in Catholic theology, which is not worship, it is not latria that we give to God, is called 𝗖𝗁. This is honour that we give to the saints, and it's not even because of anything that they have done, but it is because of what God has done in their lives. The next form of honour is called hyperdulia. This is infinitely below latria, which remember is worship that we give to God alone, but it's also higher than 𝗖𝗁, which is what we give to the saints. This is because Mary receives the highest form of honour, not worship, but honour. The reason that Mary receives more honour than the saints is because her role is completely unique. She is the vessel that God chose to be able to come into the world. By honouring Mary, we are honouring God's choice. In the same way that when we honour the saints, we are honouring the work that God has done in their lives, this exact same thing applies to Mary. We are not giving any worship or praise to Mary. We are praising and honouring the work that God has done in her life. Mary always points us to Christ. Every Marian prayer leads us to Christ. If anyone can find a Marian prayer that does not honour Jesus Christ, I would love to see it. Here's a short analogy to help you to understand. You can obviously love your mother and father. You can love your wife or your husband if you are married, and you can love God. The way that you love all of these three separate people is completely different. You use the same word to describe how you feel about these three separate people, but the actual meaning behind the words is completely different. So if you think that Catholics worship Mary, then maybe you have been taught the wrong definitions. We don't worship Mary, we honour her because God did first. She is the road that leads us to Christ. And also, it is a Bible prophecy that all generations shall call Mary blessed. Latria, the highest form of honour, which is worship, is reserved for God alone.